Okay, oil is in the ground, but oil comes squirting up like a big zit because it's under pressure. All right, oil's in the ground, but the oil they have pressure up to 20,000 psi, pounds per square inch. Okay, but the rocks can only hold that pressure for 10,000 or less because the rocks exert a certain pressure down on the earth, but then the oil under the earth exerts the pressure upward. It's called Newton's law of motion, or Newton's law of gravity actually, where you got two things pushing against each other and they exert a force. But after 10,000 years, that rock should have cracked off and they should have leaked off and we shouldn't have any oil. Okay, well then why is it still under pressure? Well, I've got a theory about that. I believe 6,000 years ago, God made everything, and 4,400 years ago, there was a flood that destroyed the world. And scientists agree that organisms get squished, and that's where the oil comes from. But they say billions and millions of years it happens, not a few thousand. Their time scale is off. But they agree that things get pressure and through heat, they become oil. That's where we get our oil from. All right? But in a laboratory, they can take sewage and sludge, and they can get oil in about 30 minutes. There's ways of making oil. In Texas, they took turkey guts, and they did the same thing in about 30 minutes. They said, what Mother Nature took millions of years to do, we do in about 30 minutes. Of course, it's much more expensive to make oil that way, so they don't do it that way, but it can be done. Okay? Sinclair has their logo for their gas station with a dinosaur, and look at what it says on the bottom. It says it's been mellowed for 80 million years. That's what they say, right? Well, I don't think it's 80 million years. Like I've already went over this here. But see, dinosaurs and other creatures and different things got squished under pressure from the flood. The flood happened, the waters came out, and everything was buried under the flood. It got squished, and that's where our oil came from. So when you're at the gas station and you're pumping in the gas, you can say, bye, Grandpa, you should have listened to Noah. Yep, you should have gotten on the flood. When you get that gas thing and you put it in your car, you're actually pumping some of your ancestors into your gas tank.